Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Universes Academy podcast. I'm your host, John Jennings. With me, as always, is Ryan Kraft. But this week, behind the scenes, producing and everything, it's just me and Matt on screen. Matt Childress, how we doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. We got a fresh batch of previews to talk about. And I believe we also had some news recently this past week about the upcoming provisionals and the first regional licensing exams.
Yeah, man.
I was gonna say let's hear about your thoughts on how they're rolling out these signups.
So, yeah. Well, and even further, I just want to pause. Remember last week we were definitely
Mhm.
talking about this, and I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear this. Then, boom, next day they're like, by the way, get live. Here's 2 months worth of events, which is
Mhm.
awesome. Props to Jazzco. It's a great lineup. Like you said, new regional license exams. So those are even bigger tournaments. So those are like announced two of them, if I'm not mistaken, like one online and then one in person in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like that's huge. Like those events are going to be insane. You're going to want to be at those if you're trying to play competitively, especially if you're trying to make it to Worlds this year, trying to get the top 32 slots. Then, yeah, you're going to want to be in those because those get you buys for nationals if you win, and nationals if you make top 8, you're automatically into Worlds. So
Mhm.
seems like a pretty good event to play in. And if you already won a provisional, you get a 2 round buy at that regional license exam of your choice. So that's pretty cool too. Um, but all that being said, yeah, to your point, they announced all these events. They're scattered across the next 2 months, all the way through like June at this point. It's awesome. It's exciting. Looking forward to playing in a few of them. But they didn't announce initially when registration was going to start. They were like, "Oh, it'll all be announced shortly," and they announced it. And registration's all on April 2nd, so
Mhm.
not like in like a 2 weeks time frame or so from when they announce the event, which that's
Yeah.
fine. Gives people time to kind of figure out the logistics. But it's for every event. Like, all 4 or 5 events are on the same day, and they just have them staggered, like, 1 hour apart. So this means if you wanted to play, like, in all 4 events, you're gonna have to check in on your phone or check in on your computer for 4 hours. Like, and then you have to make sure you also get in at the start of the hour, get your ticket purchased, go through they are on the organized play website, I believe, so
Mhm.
that'll be it's a good website, it's convenient. Registering for events is super easy. I did the Webcam Weekly this week and used that, and it was super easy. There are some hiccups still that I think they're working through as far as, like, how, like, your deck list and confirming you're checked in and all that sort of stuff, like, that's not the most intuitive, but signing up for events is very easy to find them and to sign up. But yeah, man, I don't know. I just kind of wish they would standardize that process. Maybe they'd say like it's 4 weeks before the event, right? And that's the
Mhm.
registration date. So that gives people a month, maybe, or some other arbitrary amount of time, 3 weeks, 5 weeks. I don't care, but that way you could kind of just always know, oh, it's on this date. Well, then this is when I need to register instead of, hey, I have to sign in on this one day. God forbid someone actually just can't for some reason. I mean, surely people get breaks and stuff like that, but if you're working, good luck
Mhm.
signing up for all 4 events when you're at work?
Uh, yeah, it is kind of odd that they're all on the exact same day, the signups, like you said, 1 hour apart. For the first one, the April 16th provisional, which is actually put on by Jasco. I think this is the first of the provisionals is actually going to be organized by Jasco themselves. Um, that one is, I think, just about 2 weeks away, so, obviously, it hadn't been announced, I think, previously or maybe not, as well just the information wasn't out there as much. So, yeah, like, 2 weeks beforehand or, like, 3 weeks beforehand signing up for that, it's maybe a little understandable, but as they get further
Right.
out, like you said, it could just be like maybe, all right, this one we had kind of a short notice, but we're gonna try to stagger these out and have, like you said, have a uniform sign up date. I remember even for the first couple of provisionals, there was some confusion around when to sign up.
Right.
Because for the second provisional, the signups for that went live the day after the first one. And so everyone then kind of thought, oh, well, the signups for the provisionals just go live after the first one. That wasn't actually the case. That just
Yeah, to
happened
the
to
conclusion of the
be
one before it, it'll go live or something. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and then it just happened to work out that way for the first and second ones, right? But
Right.
then there was no, like you said, there's no real uniform. Like, hey, this is how it's actually going to come out, and this is how we're going to have people stagger the signups for them.
Right.
So it would just be nice to like, hey, this is for the ones we already have planned and we know are going to happen at these dates and at these locations. This is how we're going to roll them out and sign them. Obviously, they have done this, but it is just very odd that they're all on the same day, and it
Yeah.
is 4 hours apart. I guess for two of them, the two regional license exams, the capacity is 512 players.
Right. They're big
So
events.
yeah, they're really huge, and especially the one in June is in Vegas at the at Jasco, right?
Right. Yeah, it's actually in person and in
Mhm,
Vegas, and it's on June 4th and 5th. So I was thinking about while you're talking and like looking at the lineup, like 3 of them are online, one's in person, right? Like
mhm,
they could even standardize it to where like, hey, if it's an online event, you get a 2 week the registration is 2 weeks before. If it's
yeah,
in person, it's a month before. Because if it's online, you don't really have to worry about working out logistics quite as much. Like
mhm,
maybe you need to get a babysitter, maybe you need to switch a shift at work or something. Like you can make those kind of adjustments in a 2 week time frame. But like planning a trip to Vegas, you're gonna need at least about a month or so. Most people don't just have the luxury of being like, all right, I'm packing up today and going to Vegas, and I'll be back on Monday. See you at work.
yeah,
So I don't know. Like I'm right there with you. And just to clarify, I saw some confusion online. On the Vegas one in person, they talk about how you can do redemption or loyalty program turn-ins. That's
mhm,
just because you were there in person. There's a Jessica representative. They have always done that. Like if they are at the event, they bring the promos with them. You can just turn in your packs or turn in your points there and get it. Some people thought because the others didn't say it that there was some sort of like discrepancy or like special aspect of that one. It's not. It's
okay,
just because it's in person. If these other
mhm,
ones were in-person events, I feel confident as long as a Jasco representative is there, they would bring those promos. Like I've done turn-ins at nationals before. I've done them at worlds before. Like you can always, if they're there and they have the stuff, just give it to them then. In
mhm.
the meantime, until that point, there's not any in-person events. So you're going to have to mail them in once that program goes live, which we're still kind of waiting on news for.
Yeah, hopefully we would get that this week, coming up on the end
Yeah,
of March,
I
so
was about to say got about 4 more days.
yeah.
So,
So if they're gonna try to stick to that timeline of getting it out there in March.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't think there's really any other major news. I guess hopefully we'll have some kind of news about a Crimson Rampage release date
Dude.
soon-ish.
Yeah, I know where I saw some people were like saw a Fool's post of some sort of like where it's like, "Hey, it's coming out on April 1st," which it may, who knows?
Yeah.
But that seems unlikely given the fact that's less than a week away, and
Uh-huh.
they would want to announce it and generate some hype and give people time for a pre-release. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I feel like it's at this point probably second week of April is optimistic maybe for a pre-release, just so that way they can generate hype. Like if they announced it this week and like in 2 weeks we're finishing out
Mhm.
previews, then you're gonna get the set, boom, boom, boom. Like they've done a good job of generating hype so far anyway. I don't think they'd
Yeah.
randomly drop the ball upon the release of the set?
Yeah, I did see, I think in the main MHA Discord, someone had screen capped maybe a communication from maybe like a retailer or something that where they had been told that maybe Asmodee had like basically put out a last call for orders for Crimson Rampage.
Shutting it down. It's
Uh
2 AM. We're closing it down.
yeah, yeah, so that would make me think we're closing in on the release date here. Obviously, they didn't say anything else, and it was a screen cap. It was just, a screen cap posted to the MHA Discord, so who knows the
About to
validity
say,
of
that can't
it.
be Photoshop. That's legit. Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
exactly, and I didn't know who the person was, so
Right.
it's obviously we're just, helping spread baseless accusations here on the
Yeah,
Inverse
yeah,
Scamming
just
podcast.
fake
It's what we
news
do.
everywhere. That's actually what our motto is gonna be, fake news everywhere.
Oh my god.
Welcome to UA. I wish y'all could see Ryan.
Uh, please no. Anyway, moving along to some previews. This past week, I believe all the previews were brought to us just by Jasco themselves through various Facebook or Discord stuff. I don't
Mhm.
think there were any other content creators that put anything out this week.
No, I
If
think
there
they did a really great
were,
job of covering all the content creators already, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
I don't think they missed any, and I apologize to anyone that that statement applies to. I'm not trying to be
hmm,
rude, but like they did, I feel like they did a really good job with that. Like
yeah,
over the last month, it was like at least one or two a week. It seemed, if not
hmm,
more. So
yeah. And to that point, if there were any this week that were revealed by content creators, and I didn't shout you out just now, I apologize. I will go back and look it up, and we'll correct that later.
yeah, you can
Um,
leave a comment, and then we'll go and in the next episode we'll shout it out. Um,
exactly.
I'll do it myself if I got to.
Uh-huh.
I'll
But the
interrupt John
first,
when he's talking. I'll just be like, and it was this guy. Sorry.
nah, it's fine. I'm used to it. Uh, anyway, the first card Matt is going to tell us about though
Yes,
is
sir.
we're going to talk about some Netgun Surprise.
Yeah, man. So Netgun Surprise. It's one of May Hasame's cards. It is a 4 difficulty 3 check, plus 2 mid block, 3 mid doing 3. Let's go ahead and pause there. These numbers are
Hmm.
not amazing. It's okay. All right. But let's read the rest of the card. It's ranged, has stun 2,
Okay.
tech, and weapon. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
so this card's got all the keywords. Um,
Yeah.
and then it has response card pool, remove. After your rival plays an attack, reduce its speed to 1.
Uh,
So, this card's a banger. Let's
yeah.
you remember all that other stuff? That was a little misdirection, guys. This card is a banger.
Yeah.
This card is gonna see so much play.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, single-handedly, like, you block with one of these early, and then you just tell them, "Good luck with that recipro." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
that thing's gonna be about 1 speed. I mean, granted, it's after they play the attack, so they can still do stuff to buff it.
Yeah.
But if that attack starts off at 1 and gets any sort of negatives to it, it's not gonna get scary anytime soon. Even further no, okay, that doesn't work. Oh, yeah, no, it does. It's like if you use this after they say they play it, put it to 1, then they're like, I'm not gonna plus
Plus
ultra this
ultra,
1
yeah.
speed attack. It goes to 2." Like,
Yeah.
get
Feels real
some.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
yeah, I think this card's awesome. I can't wait to
Mhm.
play it in basically everything that has those symbols.
Yeah, and also just playing it as an attack, I mean, it's a stun 2 attack that's a 4 diff, that's awesome, right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah,
only a 3 speed for 3, so it's like a great poke attack, right? Like, you just kind of like, "Oh, maybe I'm gonna set my turn and go in more," or we can kinda see how it goes and see how you respond to this.
right?
Yeah, but no, that card pool response, and so for those, that don't know, the way this would work is you would so it says card pool, response remove. After your opponent plays their card, you would then just respond with that from your card pool and then remove the card.
Mhm.
So not only do you reduce their speed, you also make your block easier.
Correct, yeah, you clear your progressive.
Mhm,
You can do cool stuff with, like, Momo with this card because it has weapon on it, so she can just target recur this card on their turn anyway by removing a foundation, which seems
mhm,
nuts, like, super good defense. Or she can randomly like you can quick creation this into your card pool with any character that has access to that if it's on the top of your deck for some or discard pile for some reason. Like
mhm.
this card's really cool. The symbols it has access to have some neat tricks with it. Yeah, I'm definitely. I don't know if you run 4 of it in a deck. Like it's probably like a 2 or 3er, but it's really good. So
Yeah.
maybe you board it and bring it in against like decks that want to add a bunch of speed if you, or you just side it out immediately if they don't. Like either way works.
Yeah, maybe if they're not adding a bunch of speed because it wouldn't be as good that way because then they're actively doing that during the attack, but I don't know,
Mm.
maybe. Uh It'd be really good against, like, a Detroit Smash though, right? Because that comes with, like, 6 speed.
Hmm.
Go ahead and I mean, obviously, they'd have to walk into that, but, I mean, that's also, like, another defense, right? Like,
Right.
even if your opponent sees that it's there and they know that it's there, they still have to
Yeah.
deal with it, and they have to play around it, and maybe you stall them out for a turn because 'cause they're like, well, I was gonna combo into this, like, awesome, like, high-speed attack that does a billion damage, but it's just gonna get reduced, so maybe I don't do that now, and I just have to wait a turn and kind of
Right.
adjust." Yeah.
And you don't have to use it. Like, you can just block early with this thing and make them figure it out. And
Mhm.
you just sit back and then you're like, "Oh, that one, I wanna use it on that one." And then they're like, "Crap, this is the one I didn't wanna use it on." Or they're like, "Okay, whatever, dude. Doesn't matter. I got
Yeah.
2 more in my hand." Like, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
so, and then if you don't use it, it just goes to your discard pile, so you can do more
Mhm.
stuff with it later. So, I don't know. It's really
Exactly.
cool. I'm excited about this card.
Yeah. Next up, we have another Mei Hatsume card. It is a foundation called Successful Sales Pitch. It is a 2/5 with a +2 high block. Before I get into the text of the card, I do just want to say we may need some better autocorrect going on here because they did not successfully spell the word successful. Uh,
Yeah.
it
There's
is,
definitely an S missing there.
yeah, there's a second S missing. It's Success is the way we like to spell success.
Mhm.
Moving along though.
It's kind of ironic, really.
It is.
Whoever
Um,
pitched this card, they were successful.
Response commit. After your tech attack deals damage, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck and add 1 tech card revealed this way to your hand. Discard the remaining cards. Yeah, I think this foundation's hot. Uh,
That's because you know how to read.
yeah.
This card is stupid good.
Yeah,
It taps.
yeah, I was gonna say it's not a flip, it's not a discard, it's not a remove. You can just, every turn, just keep on doing this if you want to. Obviously, you have to deal damage with a tech card,
Mhm.
but just being able to look at the top 4 cards and being like, it doesn't have to be an attack, obviously, that you get out. You can get a foundation or an
Sure.
asset or something. Um, but yeah, no, this card seems nuts. It's
Yeah.
also got a really good block on it too.
Yeah. The numbers are awesome. The ability is awesome. Anytime there's an ability in the game, just to share knowledge, like historical knowledge. Anytime there's an ability to let you look or dig through the top X number of cards,
Mhm.
where X is defined of whatever number, it's worth it. It's good. Do it. You know, the fact that this doesn't destroy, this doesn't flip, like you're saying, like you get one of these in play, and you just sit there and you're like, all right, your decision. If you ever don't block one of my attacks completely, I'm gonna dig through 4 cards
Yeah.
and find something I want. That's just
Mhm.
really good. So yeah, I'm 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 a fan of this card.
Yeah. And this is like essentially it's this card draw, selective card draw in symbols other than life. Life's had a good bit of card draw, but like all and evil have not had that so far in this game. And
Yeah.
so it is gated behind the tech keyword. So not a whole lot of other people are gonna be playing it, but it's only gonna
All
get
has a
better,
little
I
bit.
think.
Like all has
Yeah.
Destined and a few other cards to draw, but you're right.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have as much as life. Like it doesn't have, you're passing the torches and things like that. So I think
Yeah.
this will just be great in all of those,
Mhm. Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Um it's yeah, I think the
That'd be
card's
good.
really strong. I think it's gonna be really good. I think it's only gonna get better moving forward.
Yeah, like
Um
you can use this to dig after your attack deals damage, and maybe you just find that defensive, surprise or netgun surprise,
mhm. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Just finding things to block with, even if you don't want to push further on your turn. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm a fan. What's next, man?
I'll say lastly, this is the last card for May. We got Zoom.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Mhm.
So Zoom is a 1/5 foundation with a +3 low block. It has the tech keyword, so it can also be dug out with the sales pitch.
Yeah.
And then it has a free response on it, but it's an all character response. So again, that doesn't mean you have to be playing an all deck. It just means your character has to have the all symbol on them.
Mhm.
And it says after your combat phase begins, reveal the top card of your deck. Then it has deadlock, form, flip. Look at your rival's hand. Um, so that's kind of awesome. I'm pretty sure Sarah looks at this and he's like, "Wait, what?" Like this flips to do this, and then well, once per game. But
Yeah.
May's just got like that. May's got them eyes. She can zoom in. That's actually her quirk, if you guys weren't aware. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, this foundation's cool. It kinda doesn't do anything if you get more than 1 in play, though, so that kinda feels bad, like because you
Yeah.
respond to look, and you're like, "I'll respond to look again, I'll respond to look again, I'll respond to look I know it 4 times," like, not so relevant. But knowing the top card of your deck is huge. Like, you can play and lead with that 5 difficulty attack and know that you're not gonna tap anything, and then plan
Mhm.
out your turn accordingly. Or you can know, "Hey, there's a 1 on top. I need to not do that," and play around those as well. Like, it's
Mhm.
huge. It's really good. I do wish it kinda had a better block on it, like, for it to
Mm.
basically only have 1 ability, that is very strong and very free. I do kinda wish the block was a little more playable, like, low blocks are great, not complaining about the zone, but
Mhm.
+3 is pretty heavy. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, we're playing probably 1 or 2 of, I think if you're playing this card. Like you said, I don't know that you wanna run 4 because it feels bad to draw these later on. Like you said, you're not really doing much, and unless your opponent is just face rolling into deadlock or something, you're not really gonna get
Right.
the secondary use out of this card. But yeah, any all deck I'm making from now on is gonna have at least one of these in there, right? Like,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's nuts.
For sure.
I think outside of like maybe the order symbol ability, I think this is maybe the best or most useful, maybe cost effective because it's on a spam. The order one is obviously nuts on the ultra rare. You just kind of reset your everyone's staging area to how
Just
you
blow
see fit.
everything up. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that's really good.
So that is one thing I'm super excited to see coming back to the game are symbol
Mm,
specific abilities,
mhm.
because it lets you make kind of like stronger abilities on cards that aren't just universal, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to be playing that symbol, or at the very least have that symbol on your character. So like that limits the pool. I guess I don't know. I like
Mhm.
that. I like seeing that sort of stuff. It's nice flavor.
Yeah, like I said, you can make powerful cards, but you can gate them behind that symbol or whatever, and so it doesn't
Mhm.
feel as bad. And you can kind of plan around that in the future.
Oh yeah.
Um, so next up, we have an ectoplasm card.
Dun dun dun.
Uh, Giant Bite Detention. And it is it's just a picture of ectoplasm with his mouth open. So
Them chompers.
I know it is an ultra rare attack. It is
Hmm.
a 4 difficulty, 3 control check, +1 mid block. It is a 3 high for 4. Uh, it's got ally, it's got stun 1, it's got combo, attack, high attack. So if you want to use the combo, this has to be the third card, at least the third card in your card pool,
Mhm.
and you have to have the first has to be an attack, then a high attack, then this card. All right. So we got combo enhance. This attack gets +3 speed and +3 damage. Enhance, shuffle up to 3 cards from either player's discard pile into their deck. Um, so if we're looking at this for the combo enhance, this is essentially a 6 difficulty attack, right? It then becomes a 6 high for 7, which I think is on par for what I would think a 6 difficulty attack does,
Yeah,
as far as, like,
traditionally, like, if
stats
it's
wise.
yeah, on curve, basically, like, if it's all 4s or it's all 5s, like,
Mhm.
that's pretty much on curve, right? Like, 5 difficulty,
Yeah.
5 speed, 5 damage. So, having a 6 difficulty, 6 speed, 7 damage is slightly above curve.
Yeah, and it's got the stun one, which is nice. It's got the ally, and he has chaos. Obviously, it's a chaos order water card, which are his symbols.
Mhm.
And chaos has a lot of ally stuff going on. I do think the enhance is kind of, I think it's kind of neat. Maybe you're playing against Eraserhead or something, and he's got a
Mhm.
pile of erases in his discard pile. You're like, well, let's go ahead and put those back in your deck for you. Or you're playing against Tokoyami,
Say, or against
a-
Tokiyami.
and they've got some Summon Dark Shadows in there. You're like, well, we can go ahead and
Bye.
just put these back into your deck for you.
Bye, Summon Dark Shadow. See you
Yeah.
never.
Uh-huh. Exactly. It's a yeah, because obviously you wanna try to get the full effect out of it, so you wanna use the
Mhm.
combo enhance, but also if you well, I'm not really gonna go too hard in on my opponent this turn, but
Dude.
I can fuck with their discard pile and fuck with their next turn and just play this straight up and then build out the rest of your turn. That still feels probably pretty good.
Oh yeah, dude. If you're playing against like either one of those two characters or someone else who wants to target do stuff with their discard pile, you
Mhm.
just poke with this card. Like you just play it and you use just a second ability. You don't care what happens after that because you're like,
Mhm.
shuffle in because it's three. Like
Yeah.
the odds of Tokiyami having all four Summon Dark Shadows in their discard pile and they didn't already kill you seems real low.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, you just shuffle in all the ones that you see and then shuffle in a ruin or whatever. Like I don't, it doesn't matter. Just put in whatever you don't want them to have. Um, and yeah, go from there. I think it would. I think this card's going to see a lot of sideboard play. Probably.
Mhm.
I'm sure it'll find a home in some sort of main lineup. But in particular, I mean, I'd bring in three immediately against Eraser or Tokiyami.
Oh,
Snap.
yeah.
And both those characters have only gotten better with Kirishima leaving. So
Mhm.
seems like a pretty good card.
Yeah. Or even, like Momo, because I know we talked about how she does, like, some discard pile shenanigans, right? Like,
Yeah, shuffle in those Netgun Surprises and be like, ha ha ha, Momo, sucks to be you.
yeah, get those out of here. You're not blocking with those.
Mm-mm, not
Um,
today, Satan.
yeah, and even if you are just playing it as a 4 diff, like a 3 high for 4 or for a 4 diff is still just generically good.
Yeah, stun one, tap
Mhm.
something. I guess,
Yep.
you may wanna be cognizant of what anti-stun or anti-committal stuff they have in play because 'cause it'd feel real bad if you, like, do that into a, "It can't be fixed," or whatever, and they're like, "Cool, thanks for the free foundation, nerd."
Yeah,
But
yeah,
outside of
um,
that, I think it's totally fine. Just don't play the stun if that's the case.
yeah. This I don't know, like, how about this being, like, an ultra rare. It's maybe seems not powerful enough for an ultra rare, but who knows? Like, maybe the anti-discard pile hate is just generically good enough that, yeah, no, this totally merits that, but that will remain to be seen.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, Next up is, Fruit of Our Labors.
So, Fruit of Our Labors is a 1/5 foundation, with Evil, Order, and Void. Um, it's a got a +2 low block, and it says enhance rival's turn, remove. So that's all the cost.
Mhm.
And then it says discard 2 cards from your card pool. Then it says deadlock form, flip. Your rival builds 1 card from their hand face down. Um, so this card is like I gotta tell you, like, you're gonna read him at first and probably be like, I don't know how good this card is. It's good.
Mhm.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Great block, good spam. Um, Void needs good spam. Like their spam is kind of pretty limited compared to some of
So
the other symbols.
they have gotcha and,
Yeah, that's the only zero diff they got until this
yeah.
set, I think.
Mhm.
But the enhance rivals turn remove, discard 2 cards from your card pool. That's so good.
Oh my god,
Like
yeah.
you can just block, clear them out. All right, you want to keep on going because I tapped one foundation or removed one foundation to do this. Oh,
Mhm.
also I'm not in deadlock anymore. Or if your rival wants to build in deadlock, making them build from their hand face down, like, sure, they're gaining foundations, but you got, like, 3 of these in play, you just emptied their hand, like,
Yeah.
on your turn, so they're gonna die. Like, that's
Mhm.
what's gonna happen there. So, um, yeah, I don't know who because it's not Minetta symbols, so I guess this is just, like, a random back page kinda card where they just had to throw some symbols on some cards and some abilities or whatever,
Mhm.
because it's got, Kaminari and Minetta in the picture, but I don't know. Either way, I'll go on record saying this art's kinda just okay. I don't love this art. I know that normally I love all of the artwork in the game, but, you know, Kaminari is, like, doing the double thumbs up, so that's kinda hilarious, but
Mhm.
just Mineta being pervy for the most part.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I don't remember this exact scene from the anime, but I'm sure they're just being creepy about the girls because you can see, I guess, Hagakure and I think Jiro in the background in cheerleaders'
Yeah.
outfits. So I assume they were just doing something creepy, and this is about that.
Seems accurate.
Yeah. No, I and also this is maybe you're in like one or two of this main deck, but this seems like if like the card pool clog becomes like the meta in season two, this card's gonna see a ton of play, especially in side decks. Just because discarding 2 cards from your card pool hurts that so much. Like, Tongue Whip
Mhm.
is now not nearly it's still good, but it's just it's those cards become, significantly more blockable, right? Like,
For
that's the
sure.
big thing, is card pool clog, it just clogs your card pool, makes it so you
It's
really can't block their attacks, and also they're getting other, benefits from it.
Yeah, it's kinda like, perma speed,
Mhm,
like each card in your card pool is a permanent +1 speed to whatever attacks they play after that, so,
mhm.
um, forcing a whole bunch of stuff in your card pool, like you said, does feel bad, and that's a really good point, like, this card is very techy in that way, kinda sneaky again, sneaky good, like, it's just
Mhm.
useful in a lot of situations, whether you're actually blocking or whether they're trying to keep you from blocking.
Yep. Plus 2 low block you said is nice, and also the deadlock form, we don't really see a whole lot of deadlock action, but I do think this one is really powerful in that a lot of times when your cards force your opponent to build a card, it usually either refills their hand or wherever they were forced to build that card from, and this one does not.
Right.
So this is effective. It's like a pseudo discard, right?
Oh, it's 100% discard, yeah. Well, even
Yeah.
further, you can make them build even further into deadlock while doing this, like, that's
Hmm.
silly. So you're like,
Yep.
"You're here, now you're gonna be here for a while, even when you
Yeah.
destroy these 3 foundations, it doesn't matter because you got 3 extra ones," like, so,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that card's very good.
Mhm. Next up, we're moving into the Mina Ashido portion of the episode. The rest of the cards are going to be her kit that was, I believe, now fully revealed as of today.
Yeah, I believe so.
Um, so first up, we have Maldi. It is a foundation. It's a 2/4 +2 mid block. It's an ally keyword response. After this card, oh wait, sorry, response. Add this card to your card pool face up or face down. After you check an attack, add it to your hand. Another deadlock card, deadlock enhance once per turn. Add the top card of your deck to your momentum. I think this card's really good. Yeah, there's a reason it's got a forecheck, right? Uh,
Mhm,
you add it to your card. You add it to your card pool, face up first or face down. We'll find out later. There's stuff that she does that responds with face up or first face down. Obviously, her ability on her card is about face up or face down cards. So you add it face down, and you don't have to worry about progressive difficulty from this card from her. And it also deals extra damage with her response. Also, it lets you essentially draw a card, specifically an attack.
yeah, so, like, it helps make checking that attack feel a little less bad, right?
Hmm.
Um, but at the same time, you're not only gonna check poorly, like, you just checked a 3 or less, you also then lose a foundation. You don't add
Hmm.
to progressive, so that's something. So, like, it kinda double downs on checking poorly, so that's kind of a weird space to be in. Um, but that being said, it is a very strong effect and
Hmm.
probably something that you're not gonna have a problem playing around when piloting that deck, right? Like, you're gonna kinda anticipate that. Again, I don't know if this is Snap 4X. It might be, just because it does add to the card pool and it does randomly get her more attacks. Um, my fear is that these cards are only going to really be good in her because she
Hmm.
ignores that progressive, right? For face downs. Like they've done characters like this in the past, and that's kind of how their kits end up working out normally until another character comes along that also utilizes that aspect. So I think that kind of hurts these cards to some extent, as far as their general appeal for the symbols and trying to improve the strength of chaos, death, and water.
Hmm.
But I do think for her in particular, this is probably a 4X. You're just like, snap, put it in there, let's go. Like, um, yeah, it's good.
Yeah. It being a four check kind of makes me wary of making it like a snap four of an attack, like you said. And with it does debuild. Obviously, with her, the whole balance is going to be like, how do you mitigate and balance the debuilding versus aggro? Because it's not like she gets those foundations back at the end of the turn, even if they're face up. She
Right.
didn't build them; they just go away.
Right.
Uh, so it is kind of that balancing act, and
Yeah.
I think that'll be crucial to playing her specifically.
Yeah, I think the reason I say it's a snap 4X is because her kit's the only thing doing that.
Hmm.
So you need all of the opportunities you can to add those cards face down. And that's just I like that's all you shaz right now. Like as more sets come out, and if someone else has this theme at some point, then sure, you can
Mhm.
probably cut back on some of these and not run four of them. But I think if you're wanting to play a Shido when set two drops, just plan on putting 4x of all of her foundations and most of her cards in it because you're going to start with that, and then you're going to add in other things like maybe some Mineta card pool clog stuff or Asui stuff or whatever from there.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Um, Next up, we have Cheerful Uppercut.
All right, this one's mine, right?
Mhm.
All right. So cheerful uppercut is first off, it is a rare. So don't get too excited. Have we seen her ultra rare yet? Yeah, we have. We
It
did.
was just, revealed today.
Okay. So that's coming. Cool.
Mhm.
So artwork on this one is awesome. But it's a 5/3 and it's got a +2 mid block. It's a 5 speed low doing 4 damage. It has
Mhm.
charge and punch, so it does trigger her carriage ability, of course. Um, and then it says enhanced discard of momentum. This attack gets +4 damage. So that makes it a 5 low, doing 8 as long as you have one momentum. And
Mhm.
then it has a free response on it. It says, after you block this card, both players add the top card of their deck to their card pool face down. I'm just going to read that one more time. It's a +2 mid block that says, response for free. After you block with this card, both players add the top card of their deck to their card pool face down.
Mhm.
So that's kind of awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Um, like super disruptive on their turn. Just shits all over combo. Like just pack it up.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a mid block, so I can play this on any attack anytime I want.
Mhm.
Um, this card is awesome, especially awesome for her. Again, may not see a lot of play outside of her, but that response works for everybody and it's still good. It's less good than everyone else though, because they don't ignore face down cards like she does. It's like for
Mhm.
her, there's no penalty. Whereas if you're like, Mineta playing this, you're like, well, okay, whatever, that kind of sucks. But rewind and oh wait, no, I don't think never mind. I was thinking that that foundation we just talked about the fruits of the labor or whatever. I
Mhm.
thought it might share a symbol here, but it doesn't. Because I was like,
No.
you could do this and block, put one in your card pool, then pop that and clear it out. Oh,
Oh,
but you
no.
can't. So
Yeah.
don't worry about that, guys. They were one ahead of us here.
Uh-huh.
So but yeah, I think this card's cool. I think it's fine. I think the block response is what's really good about it, though.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, especially, this having chaos, so, like, getting the momentum isn't super difficult to begin with, right? Like,
Sure.
there's a lot of ways to cheat that into play, on that symbol. Death and water, maybe not as much, but, uh, yeah, like, a 5 low for 4, like, 4 damage, like, is kinda not on curve, but,
Mhm.
making it a 5 low for 8 is pretty hot,
Yeah.
then plus whatever damage it does with her response, right? Because it is a punch attack.
Right. And that's
Uh,
kind of the thing that you have to think about also whenever you look at her cards, like they might be
mhm,
statted slightly below, but that's probably because they're anticipating some of them connecting. And then you
mhm,
get free burn, which is damage they can't prevent or mitigate. They just lose that health. So
mhm.
it's really good. That acid hurts.
Yeah, no, I like that card. I think that's gonna be a really powerful card in her. Next up, we have Struggling with Studies. It is another foundation. It's a 1/5 with a +3 low block. Enhance flip. If this is your rival's third or greater attack this combat phase, add one card from your card pool to your hand. Response. Before one of your foundations would be flipped due to a rival effect, flip this foundation instead. So obviously for the response, we got a little bit of um, flipping negation, not negation, but you can make it like they're gonna flip this one instead. Obviously, a
Yeah,
little
you
little
redirect it. You're like,
protection. Yeah,
Over here. I'm protecting that foundation. You was trying to apathetic, you jerk.
yeah, yeah. It's like the high value target. I think was the other
Mhm.
one, the Midoriya Foundation.
So can I
Similar
pause
to
this right
that.
there?
Yeah.
So one of the key things here is for those of you who are newer to the game is mechanically how this works.
Mhm,
So let's say we're playing. I have one of these in play. You have apathetic, John. You go to use apathetic.
mhm.
Um, I respond before you declare a target to redirect it to this foundation.
Okay.
So you have to pay the cost. So you have to flip your foundation. And you're
Mhm.
like, I'm going to use apathetic. You don't have to declare what your target is yet. And then I respond and I say, I'm going to redirect this to here. I
Yep.
don't believe that changes because that's how like other destroy effects work as well. Like you don't get to wait until they declare the target. I don't believe that changes just because it says before one of your foundations. It says would be flipped. So one of your foundations would be flipped once they pay the cost. You then trigger this response to redirect it to this. So
Yes, because I believe the cost for apathetic is just enhance flip. Then there's the
it is.
colon, And
Yeah.
so they declare, "I'm going to use apathetic." They pay the cost. Then you say, "All right, I'm gonna respond with struggling with studies." You're flipping this instead. Whatever you would have picked, it's actually this. It doesn't
Yep.
matter.
Yep. And
Um,
it's just important because what happens a lot of times is people don't realize that, and then they're
mhm.
like, "Well, what are you gonna target?" And then you're like, "This," and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna use this," and, like, that's not how it works.
Yeah,
You
you'd have to be specific because I actually don't know how the new Bakugo works. I know he's about flipping stuff too. His might be more targeted where maybe you have to do something different. But
he forces them to flip things that are ready.
okay, so
That's
it's
his
okay,
restriction. So
gotcha.
he just says, he'll use that response or whatever when he
Mhm.
goes to play his combo attack, and then he's like, respond Bakugo, and then you'd have to be like, respond struggling studies, respond struggling with studies.
Yep,
I think to redirect them to that.
yep. So
Sorry to interrupt you.
no, that's fine. That's good to know. That response is cool. I think the enhance is actually cooler. Enhance
Woo
flip.
boy.
As Ryan and I have attested to for a long time on this podcast, Ice Storm is the greatest card ever to be printed in this game, and this just lets you block with it twice in a turn, and that's awesome.
Ice storm when you want to ice storm when you want to ice storm.
Exactly. It's you get to use the same one twice.
Hmm.
Or you don't even have to actually do that. You could block with it and then just pick it up and play it the next turn as an attack or something, right? Like you do whatever
Right.
you want.
Right. No, this enhance is awesome
Yeah.
because right now a lot of decks want to put together longer strings of attacks instead of just like one giant attack.
Mhm.
Um, and this card is like, yeah, you keep doing that. You play that third attack because it's third or greater.
Mhm.
So most likely you're going to burn this on their third attack immediately. So you blocked one because that's how you have that card in your card pool. So then maybe you take damage from one. They play that third one, and you're like, not today. Picking that back up.
Yeah.
And now we're going to break her to you again, buddy.
Yeah. Or even if like this is also still kind of like another anti-card pull clog, right? Or
Hmm.
card pull clog card. There we go. That's a little difficult
Yeah,
to say. Because this lets you pick up one. So maybe you're not necessarily going to block everything, but it makes it so you can actually like attempt a block, right? If it's going
sure.
to kill you.
Yeah, well, and also you can look at it as this weird like flip card draw, like
Hmm.
sometimes it's targeted, sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Um, like you're saying, maybe you pick up that ice storm to then try to kill them with it on the next turn.
Hmm.
Or like that frog lashing or whatever, right? Like something that has
Yeah.
awesome breaker on it that you want to play as blocks and you want to kill them with. So um, yeah, I think this card in all of those symbols is a snap 4x. Like
Oh yeah.
if you're playing against me and I'm playing those symbols, I'll tell you right now, I got four in my deck. Don't even worry about it. Don't check my list. I'll tell you right now, I got four.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be playing this. Here's two symbols with the ice storm.
Two. Yes.
Like, oh man, I can't
uh
wait.
yeah. Next up we got graceful maneuvers.
Yeah. So Graceful Maneuvers is a 2/5 foundation. I think it's the last Ashido foundation we have.
Hmm.
And it's a +3 mid block. And it says enhance commit. This attack gets -2 speed, period. And it
Hmm.
says this attack gets -1 speed for each card in your card pool.
Okay.
So yeah. So like again, if we've blocked, say, like two attacks and we've got two cards in our card pool. Maybe we blocked with one of those sweet uppercuts and we threw another card in our card pool. And we're going to
Hmm.
tap this. And now we have three cards in our card pool. We're going to tap this and give -5 speed for each copy of this in play.
Yeah.
Yeah, this card is real good. The
Hmm.
defense is real. Um,
Uh-huh.
like I can't imagine there being a scenario where this isn't always -3 speed. And just to clarify, there were foundations in the past that were 1/5s with +3 mid blocks that said enhance commit. This attack gets -3 speed, and it was an auto include 4x in any deck that could run it. And this
Hmm.
card, again, auto include 4x and probably any deck that can run it. Maybe 3 if you're like a super greedy player. But I'm telling you again, if I'm running those symbols, I got 4 guys. Just
Hmm.
there's 4 sitting there waiting for you. I'm gonna block. I'm gonna breaker the shit out of you, and I'm gonna make my blocks look easy. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you've been warned.
Yeah. I hope you're not planning on pumping speed against any water deck ever. My God.
Right?
This is
Oof.
ridiculous. Yeah, and I feel like a broken record saying this again, but this is also another anti card pull clog card, right? Like because they put a bunch of stuff in your card pool. You're like, well, I can use this to make this attack I want to block actually easier, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, so in that situation, you break even effectively,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah,
you get the
but it gives you a
-2.
chance, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get the -2, get you ahead on
Hmm.
block, and then you basically get to ignore all the other ones they forced in there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of ironic that there's all those cards in water when water is like the primary culprit of wanting to do that mechanically. So
Yeah.
I don't know, water on water matchups might be kind of fun to watch because they hate themselves more than they hate anything else, you know?
Yeah, it's that no one makes me bleed my own blood.
Right.
Next up, we have another attack. We have Acid Chop. It is a 4/3. It is a +1 mid block. It is a 4 high attack for 4 damage. It has flash and punch. Response: after you play this attack, both players add the top card of their deck to their card pool face down. I believe this card is hot. Um, just so you know, for the response, you can't use this after you block with it because it specifically says after you play this attack, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
Um, so not just after you play this card.
correct.
Uh, but yeah, no, obviously, like we've said already a bunch with Mina, this card is generically just really, really strong in her. I also think it's not bad in other cards, in other decks that maybe want to throw cards in your opponent's card pool. Like a Water Asui, maybe she's got ways to like remove stuff from the card pool or get stuff out of there, or just some other stuff going on. I think this card's really good. I think it's a common. I think it's a really solid card.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. One and effectively a good way to look at this card is that it's basically a 5 speed for 4 with no
Hmm.
enhanced up that they just have to block. And again, adding cards to their card pool is like perma speed for the turn. And for Ashido, she doesn't care. Doesn't affect her at all. It's
Hmm.
like it's a 5 speed doing 4, and then if they don't block it, they already have another card in there, so it's gonna do 5 damage. So it's really a 5 speed for 5
Hmm.
if they don't block it with no enhanced phase. Like, this card's very threatening in her for sure. Um, at the beginning like that of a chain or at the end
Hmm.
of a chain because it's a 4 diff, and you're like, "Hey, I already stuffed 2 cards in there. Let's play this as a 3rd card. Flash, you don't get to do any of those speed resets to make it easier to block, so it's got 3 in your card pool. Oh, so you're gonna take it? Guess you're gonna take 7. Let's do that again. That was fun." Like, just commit out that turn for it. So, yeah, I think this card's very good, especially,
Yep.
like you said, as a common, very strong.
Hmm. Yep. Next up, we have Acid Fling.
Alright, so Acid Fling, is a 4 difficulty 3 check. It's got a +2 low block. It's a 4 mid doing 3, and it's got the ranged keyword. It says response flip. After this attack deals damage, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. And then it says deadlock enhance. Add one rival asset or foundation to their card pool. Um, yeah, so I got some thoughts here. If I'm not mistaken, shouldn't that response say card pool on it? Like, does it matter
No.
after this attack deals damage?
So I think if it says card pool, I think that means you can use it
Just
later on from the card
okay,
pool
that
if
makes
it's
no sense.
sitting
Yeah,
in
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, this is just
Okay,
specifically
yeah.
for this attack.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that's fair. So then it's kind of interesting, right? So it flips, so it doesn't count towards progressive for her,
Mhm,
and it snap gets you a momentum. Basically you're just um, cashing in early, kind of like a check to cash kind of place for your
mhm,
momentum, right? Because you would get it at the end of the turn anyway because it dealt damage, but you're just flipping this to get it now. So that's pretty cool. Um, it's statted below curve. It's only doing 3 damage, but it's for that reason because she can also burn them if it does deal damage.
mhm.
Um, I think the deadlock enhance is super cool because I'm a huge supporter of having cards that disrupt your opponent's game plan, and
Oh, yeah.
that's what this does. Like you just like snipe, like, hey, put that box full of babies directly into your card pool. It's gone now,
Mhm.
or hey, put that quick creation, or hey, put that I don't know, rescue complete, like whatever. So that's really good.
Yeah.
I feel like her kit has a lot of really good deadlock, so I don't think I'm ever gonna build into deadlock against her. Like, just not gonna do it.
Yeah. Um, I do I like this card. I think it's neat. Like you said, it only does 3 damage, but the way the responses work, right? So, this one deals damage. So you take the 3 damage, you respond with this to flip it, and then add the momentum, obviously. But now, since you've responded with this first, it's flipped. Then you can, if this is your first attack, you can then respond with Mina to then burn them for 1, right? Is that how that would
Um,
work?
so you would respond,
Because they
was
both
it your
just say
question?
after
Yeah.
after an attack deals damage.
Yeah, you can choose when you respond with them then.
Mhm.
I would respond with her ability first, um, because I'm pretty sure once you flip it face down, that, like, closes that window. I could be mistaken, though. So I don't know. I mean, like, I can't think of a reason you wouldn't just respond with her first, though, you know?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, so you don't. This is your first attack. You don't have any other face down cards in your card pool, right? So
Right.
you wouldn't be able to trigger her with
Oh, I see what you're saying.
anything.
So you flip it
Yeah,
so it counts.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I guess so, maybe?
yeah. Well, they both trigger. They're both responses are triggering off the attack dealing damage. So
Yeah.
you would just pick which one you want to do first, right?
Yeah, like, you stack them or whatever. Sure.
Yeah. So you would do this one
Yeah.
first, get your
Hmm,
momentum. Now you have a face
that's
down
kinda cool.
card, and then you can use her to burn them for one. Yeah.
Yeah, I have theory crafted her to 0%, so
Yeah, but well, it was kind of more to your point about this being like an understated attack, right? Because it's only 3
right.
damage on a 4 diff, but
Yeah,
really, if it could do 4 damage with her, if even if it's your only attack.
yeah, that's fair. That's cool.
Mhm. Lastly, we have her ultra rare, which was revealed this morning, continuing my streak of always dating our content. Uh, it is Acid Corrosion Breach. It's an attack. It's a 5/2, so we got a 2 check. +1 high block, a 3 low for 6. We got charge, ranged, and slam. Enhance. Add 1 momentum to your card pool face up. This attack gets +2 speed and +2 damage. Enhance. Add the top card of your deck to your card pool face down. Look at the face down cards in your card pool. You may add one of them to your hand. Yeah. This card earns that 2 check, I think, right? Like
Yeah, this is a cool card. Um,
being able to make this a 5 low for 8. Also draw another attack from your card pool. Adding cards into there for extra damage for her responses.
yeah, well, you draw one from your momentum effectively, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, that's what
um,
I'll say. Like, so you
yeah.
get well, it's from your card pool, but yeah.
Right, but, like, yeah, because 'cause you're
Yeah.
pulling it from your momentum. So, like,
Mhm,
now that you pointed out the acid fling interaction, so you can
mhm,
totally acid fling first,
mhm,
then if it deals damage, you respond, flip it, respond, burn them. You get that free momentum off the top of your deck, right? And
mhm,
then you're like, "Okay, gonna play Acid Corrosion Breach." It's on a 5 because I ignore face downs. Check my 5, and then I'm going to use its ability, add that free momentum I just got, face down to my card pool, +2,
mhm.
+2, to then use her ability, to add the top card of your deck to your card pool face down also. Hey, cool. And then I'm going to look at these 3 face downs that I have. And if nothing else, I know I'm getting another acid fling.
Yeah.
And then
Um,
it's going to have 3 in front of it when I go to play it and burn you with it. Like, okay, this card is, yeah, like you said, it earns that 2 check. And I think, again, Snap Forex, like, I think if you're going to play her, you just start with 4 of all of her cards and then work your way out.
yeah, kinda tweak the numbers and see what you wanna do later on. Um, yeah, no, like I said, I think this is a really powerful card for it to not always be, but pretty much if you're doing it right, unless something, like, kinda weird comes up, it's always gonna be a 5 low for 8 on a 5 diff attack. Like, that's insane. Plus whatever burn you're getting from her. Uh,
Yeah.
and then also recurring cards as you see fit. It's
Yeah.
it's real good. Feels good.
Yeah, it's a cool card. Also,
Mhm,
the art's pretty sweet, so,
mhm.
win, 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 win.
Yeah. Um, well, I believe that's gonna do it for previews. I feel like we're kinda coming in on the home stretch for previews here.
Dude, I went through and I
Uh,
counted it up the other day, and, like, this
mhm.
was before we finished out her kit. I wanna say there's maybe, like, 10 or 15 cards left at most for the whole set. Like, we've
Yeah.
seen a lot of this set, so we gotta be
Mhm.
getting close to a release date because there's no, or I don't say no way. It seems really unlikely they're gonna spoil or preview the entire set before they tell us when it's coming out, like, because at that
Yeah.
point, everyone's just gonna start theory crafting, like, you immediately, like we're doing right now, like, live, right? Like, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I want the meta to be cracked before they actually get the cards.
Ah. Well, as we've talked about, there's no crack in the meta, man.
Oh, okay. It's crack proof.
Yeah. Well, that is going to do it for this for us this week on the Universe Academy podcast. We appreciate all you guys stopping by. Please subscribe and like the videos if you see fit, and leave us comments. Let us know what you think. Anything you want to talk about, or anything we got horribly wrong, let us know.
Yeah, and don't forget you can check out our website for our calendar where we have all of the events already posted for you. You can just add it to your Google calendars. We got some of our other content there, all of these card previews. Also, our Facebook page. We post stuff there to our content as well. So,
Mhm,
yeah, we're kind of all over the place. But follow it. Like I said, like and subscribe as you see fit.
mhm. Yeah. Well, we appreciate everyone stopping by, and hope y'all have a great week.
See you guys.